Hey guys, and welcome to Body Sculpting Pro, the nutrition portion. Okay, I could not be more excited than to be teaching you this right now. Normally, I guide clients through a journey which has a specific goal. Never have I gone in depth and taught people how to actually do it themselves, how and why, and what I'm actually doing, what I'm doing, and when to do it with their diet. Okay, I'm going to show you a couple short clips just so you get a feel for me and my style. And it's going to kind of show you what I do for people. Essentially, I make meal plans and I also create fitness programs. A lot of it is for weight loss, but there is also a short percentage of people that want to do bodybuilding as well. And this is going to work for both of those because, as you're going to see, there's a very small window. And once you learn how to play with that window, you can manipulate the body to do whatever you want. So now it's time to bridge the gap. Do you know how many calories you burn a day? Do you know how many carbs you're going to burn in the next 3 hours? Because if we don't know, we're not going to guess it right. So if we do know, your body does exactly what you want it to do. All right, we're going to learn all that, and we're going to learn why it's so important. In this program, we're going to cover a whole bunch of stuff. We are going to cover what kind of foods to eat, but mostly we're going to cover how much. I think it's the most overlooked aspect of nutrition. By the end of this program, you will know how to tailor meal plans, how to choose any food you want, and really take your body to a level that you didn't even think was possible. When I first got my meal plan, it was just a couple pieces of paper, and I lost 60 pounds, and then I put on 30 pounds in muscle. I didn't do this all in one plan. It was a journey. So I got one plan, I lost a bit of weight, I lost another one, right? And I went down, and then I was good with how much body fat I had. So he's like, all right, let's make you big and hard. So I went back up the other direction. I was 210 pounds with abs. I'll throw a picture up right now, because it truly was an incredible transformation. And there it is. Sorry, the picture's a little bit blurry, but I'm going to teach you how to create the journey I went on. And I'm also going to give you a journey for yourself. So basically, instead of going through all the hassle of actually creating all the meal plans, I'm giving you the templates. I'm giving you the journey. Now you just have to tailor it for different people, okay, or for yourself. But I'm going to give you everything you need to make a full transformation. My goal has always been 1 million before and after pictures. Help me crush that goal, guys. If you try this program, I urge you, take a picture. Because this happens so fast. And then people are like, oh man, I should have taken a picture. And I'm like, oh, damn it, I told you to. So please, take a picture today, right away, right where you are. And then take a picture as you go through the different phases, okay? Anybody that's taken my bodybuilding and body sculpting program design will know my mentality. Those of you who haven't, that's a great program too. You should take it because it really pairs with this one. But either way, you're going to get to know my mentality very well. And it is progressive, and there is a method to my madness. And I'm going to teach you guys that here today. We're going to cover how to create a great meal plan. We're going to cover what foods to put in there. We're going to cover why to do all of this and when to change it so that we continue to break through plateaus and keep that body progressing, which is what we want. We're going to start with the how. So if I burn 3,000 calories today and I take off 500 calories and I eat 2,500 calories, now, not just 2,500 calories of anything, we're going to get into the what very soon. Right now, 2,500 calories. 500 less a day. That is the equivalent to 17 jogs a week if you listen to the meal plan every single day, because you would have 500 calories gone times 7 days is 3,500 calories, which equals a pound of fat. You're going to need to go on 17 jogs to burn 3,500 calories. Now, I don't know about you, but I'd rather just eat delicious food in proper portion than go jogging 17 times. I'm not going to go jogging 17 times, I will tell you that right now. I will jog, not 17 times this week. So 500 calories less is usually where I start just about everybody. Because 500 calories is less is usually more than the person is eating. When they see a proper meal plan, which is 500 calories less than they burn, but it's more food than they're used to, and then they start losing weight, it makes no sense to them. But it does make sense because there's a window. So essentially, 500 calories less is 1 pound of fat a week. 1,000 calories less is 2 pounds of fat a week. Anything lower than that, and you're kind of dipping in starvation mode and your body wants to store fat. Anything over that line, and your body wants to store fat as well. So there's a little window of 1,000 calories that I'm going to teach you how to continue to play within to make this really work. And that is how it works. And if you want to gain weight, just eat more. And there's the same thing. There's a 500 to 1,000 calorie window when it comes to bodybuilding that's effective. And then anything over that, it kind of putting on fat. You're going to put on a bit of fat anyway. But basically, 2,000 calorie window that you're going to see positive results. Which is why you see so many different programs out there, because there's such a huge window. And as long as you get it close to right, it's going to work. Okay? So as far as when, I think everybody should know this as soon as they start eating. But definitely, if you're going to be starting a workout regime, or if you're trying to change your body, now's the time to get on something like this. The first thing I want to go over is I want to go over how much, because that's really the science of the entire program, and I want you to have it right away. So we're going to switch over to my screen, and I'm going to take you through the calculations, and I want you to plug yourself into this, so by the time we're done this, you have a meal plan. Okay? We're going to design it right now. Let's go through this together now. Now I want you to follow along and type your weight into your phone or a calculator right now. Because by the time we're done this, you're going to have a meal plan. The first thing we need to know is how to calculate your basic metabolic rate. For your males, you're going to take your body weight in kilograms and times it by 24 calories. For females, we're going to do 0.9 times your body weight in kilograms. So type your body weight in now, or just guess if you don't know, and divide it by 2.2, and that's going to give your body weight in kilograms. Now times it by 24. This is going to give you your basic metabolic rate. So for an example, if we had a female weighing 140 pounds, and we times that by 0.9, first of all, we take the 140, divide it by 2.2 kilograms, that's going to give us 63. We take the 63 times 0.9 and then times it by 24. And that's going to give us 1,360 calories per day. And she's going to burn that doing absolutely nothing, just existing. So from there, we're going to add on the activity level that we do a day. So find where you are and then add on the percent that goes beside it. For people with very light activity, mainly sitting and walking, 30% gets added on to your BMR. For people that do light activity, mostly standing and walking, add 40%. For people that do moderate activity, mainly walking and light physical work and a workout, add 50%. For heavy activity, this is manual labor, construction. I would even consider restaurant trades to be in this category. Add 90% to your BMR. And for your very heavy activity level people, this is 8 hours of heavy labor and a workout. We're actually going to add 120% to your basic metabolic rate. So for her, she does a moderate activity. We're going to take the 1360 and times it by 1.5. Now this is timesing it by 50%, and that's going to give us 2,040 calories today, which is the perfect amount. From there, we have to consider how lean this individual is. If they're a lean person, male between 10 to 14% and women between 14 to 18% body fat, they get 100% of those calories. For somebody in the lean category 2, this is men between 15 to 20% and women 18 to 28, you would get 95% of those calories. Lean factor 3, males between 20 to 28% and females 28 to 38%, you get 90% of those calories. So figure out where you are here and divide it by where you fit. For males over 28% and women over 38%, you get 80% of those calories that you need daily. Because muscle burns calories just having it. Fat does not. Fat is not metabolic. It doesn't require any calories to sustain it. So for her, she's 25% body fat. Therefore, lean factor 2, we're going to take 95% of those calories, which is going to give us 1,938 calories per day that she needs. This is where her body is going to run optimally. From there, we have to take her goal into considerations. So she said that she wants to tone up a little bit. So where are we going to start her? 500 calories less per day. And that's going to equal 500 times 7 days is 3,500 calories a week. And that's actually a pound of fat loss a week. And she hasn't changed her lifestyle yet. She's only changed her diet a little bit. So we have to make it a little more precise. We can't just have 1,438 calories of whatever we want. We have to break it down a little better than that. And we're going to go with 40% carbs, 40% protein, and 20% fat. So you're going to have to write this down here. Take that number that you have, which is your daily calories minus your goal or plus your goal, whatever your goal is, plus minus. And now take that, and for carbs, we want 40%. So 1438 times 0.4 is 575 calories a day from carbs. We're going to do the same thing with protein. And fat, we're going to do 20%. So take the number, 1438, or whatever yours is, times 0.2, and that's going to give us 287 calories from fat per day that she needs. So now to convert it into actual grams of food. Carbs and protein both have 4 calories per gram, and fat has 9 calories per gram. Alcohol actually has 12 calories per gram, but we're not going to discuss that right now. So we're going to take the 575 calories for carbs and divide it by 4, and that's going to give us 143 grams of carbs per day. Same thing for protein. And for the fat, we've got 287. We're going to divide that by 9 calories, giving us 31 grams of fat per day. Now we have to take into consideration how many meals she wants. Is she going to eat 5 times a day, 4 times a day? It really doesn't matter as long as you hit these numbers. So whatever works for the client. So she wants to eat 5 times a day, which is 3 meals, breakfast, lunch, a little snack, and then dinner, and then a snack after dinner. So we're going to take the daily grams and divide it by 5 meals. 143 for the day turns in to 28.6 when you divide it by 5. So for carbs, 28.6 grams per meal. Protein, 143 divided by 5, 28.6 per meal. Same thing. Fat, 31 grams a day divided by 5 meals is 6.2 grams per meal. And this is what your meal plan will look like before you actually put food to it. She's got 5 meals that are all equal, and that equals 500 calories less than she burns a day. So all she has to do is listen to this, and she will be burning 1 pound of fat per week. The science is in the numbers. When it comes to what foods to choose, this may completely surprise you. As you saw in my clip, I'm not really too picky on what people eat. That is to say, when I take people grocery shopping, I don't recommend what foods to eat, only how much. So people look at me all the time and they're like, what should I have for breakfast? And I say, what do you want for breakfast? And they're like, I don't know, cereal. And then they'll hand me a box of cereal and I'll tell them exactly how much cereal they can have. But I have had literally hundreds of clients and never once did I pick what foods they chose unless they went with nutrition therapy, but that's, again, we'll talk about it later. They all made their own food decisions. Some people wanted rice pudding for breakfast, some people wanted cereal, some people wanted oats, some people wanted Fruit Loops, right? It is what it is. How much is super important. So when it comes to what, we're going to focus on the macronutrients because it does have to consist of all three, well, we'll get into that later, carbs, protein, and fat. And this is what we're going to learn how to count. Now, I'm sure you've probably heard of this before, but we're going to take a journey with it. We're not just going to figure out one set of numbers and pretend that that's going to work for the rest of our life. Okay? But the food choices are up to you. Now, when it comes to the breakdown of how much of the macronutrients to choose, you really can play with these numbers a little bit. You can play with these percentages and find what works best for certain clients. I like to go with 40% protein, 40% carbs, 20% fat, because it's relatively easy to remember, and I find it's a good split. Let's put all this together. If your client burns 2,780 calories a day, that leaves 2,280 calories after we take off 500, which is going to give them 1 pound of fat loss per week. That breaks down 40%, 40%, 20% into 228 grams of carbs, 228 grams of protein, and 51 grams of fat. We're going to divide that by 6 because that's roughly how many meals you'll get a day depending on the length of your day. And that's going to break down to 38 grams of carbs, 38 grams of protein, and 9 grams of fat every 3 hours. Now here's the thing, like I said, this can be any kind of food you want as long as you hit those numbers. So if you're having granola bars, look at the back of the box. It'll probably say 1 serving is a perfect amount for you, just nobody ever pays attention to that, right? I mean, it'll even say on chocolate chip cookies, 1 serving, 2 cookies. And it'll probably be pretty close to your numbers. I'm not recommending you eat chocolate chip cookies all day. I am recommending that you follow the numbers that you've just figured out for yourself, because that's the first phase of the nutrition program. 500 calories less. The only time I wouldn't start somebody 500 calories less is if they're like a marathon runner, or if they're already really lean and a bodybuilder trying to gain more weight. But anybody else, I'm going to start 500 calories less and just see what happens. Most often, they lose a bit of fat and they put on a bit of muscle at the same time. Anybody that says that's impossible, try this and prove me wrong. It is totally possible. Okay guys, it's time right now to make one for yourself. Follow the template provided because it's super easy, just fill it out. So here's what you should have created. And now all you have to do is put foods to that, and then you don't even have to think about it anymore. Now guys, when it comes to transforming your body, a lot of people think that working hard is better. And as a fitness coach, it's my job to make it more efficient, not harder. Right? We learn, we get knowledge to make things easier. And that's exactly what we're doing here. Like I said before, 17 jogs or just eating this for a day, it's a no-brainer. And then when you combine the two, magic happens. Now, obviously, not all things are created equal. Okay, a chocolate bar is not going to be the same as a mango. because it's full of empty calories, meaning there's no nutrition in there. Will it work for fat loss? Yes, it will. The science will work. However, we also want to increase our health as well. Okay? The first macronutrient I really want to talk about is carbohydrates. Now, a carbohydrate is anything that turns into sugar. So bread, pasta, fruit, vegetables, candy, most delicious stuff is mostly made of carbohydrates. The first thing I want to talk about is the glycemic index. The glycemic index is a value given to a certain food that has a number which tells you how fast it turns to sugar in your system. So the higher the glycemic number, the faster it's going to turn into sugar in your system. This is important because the faster it turns into sugar in your system, the faster it's going to be out of your system, and the more insulin it's going to create to get rid of that. Lower the glycemic number, the better it is for you, the slower it's going to digest. So a piece of brown bread may have a glycemic index of 60, while a piece of white bread may have a glycemic index of 80. Meaning the white bread is going to digest much slower. The brown bread is going to digest much slower than the white bread. The white bread is going to give you more of an insulin spike, and it's also going to make you crave more carbs because of that insulin spike. This is why some people start eating sugar, myself included, and you find it very hard to stop because you actually get addicted to it. Here's a little trick though. If you dip that piece of white bread in, say, olive oil, you've now made it even lower than the brown bread, because before your body can digest that, it has to digest the fat that's on it. So sometimes by adding fat, you actually bring your glycemic index of the carbohydrate down a bit. Hopefully that didn't confuse you. But you can look up the glycemic index of any carbohydrate and it'll tell you. Now, for the most part, like 80% of the time, you want to keep your carbs slow digesting. And then after a workout is pretty much the only time I recommend having a higher digesting carb. And that's because we actually want an insulin spike and we want to restore all the sugar to our muscles. But for the most part, try and keep the numbers low when it comes to your choices for food and carbs. I've created a chart, and here it is, which is some common foods, and it'll tell you the glycemic index for those foods. Check it out in the resources at the end of this section. I would like to talk for fiber. I would like to talk about fiber for a minute, because if you look at a box and it's got 30 grams of carbs, but 8 grams of fiber, the fiber actually doesn't digest. So you don't need to count that towards your macronutrient count, because it doesn't really do anything in your system. It just kind of goes through you, and it actually cleans you out like a rope. So fiber is great to have in your diet. Lots of people add fiber. And again, you can take it off. You don't have to count the fiber calories. So read closely. Now, as far as insulin goes, I want to get into this a little bit because it's really important and it causes a lot of us really poor health when we eat too much sugar and we become insulin resistant. I want you to think of insulin like the bouncer, okay? The bouncer of your veins. And when somebody lets in a whole bunch of sugar, the bouncer's like, oh my God, who let in all this sugar, right? We gotta get this sugar out of here. So what the insulin does is it goes around, it grabs the sugar, and it puts it in 3 spots. It's gonna store it in your muscles. It's going to store it as stored fat. Like first it'll fill your muscles and it'll fill some stored fat. Once your muscles are full, it's going to store it purely in stored fat. And it's also going to store a little bit in your liver for later. Now, when people eat too much sugar for too long, it's hard for the insulin to do its job. There's just too much. Picture a funnel right now. And I dripped a little bit of sugar into a funnel and it would go through. But if I dumped the whole bag onto the funnel, it's going to clog up, right? And it doesn't matter how much insulin you drip in there, it doesn't matter how many bouncers you have, it is clogged. And that's when you become insulin resistant. and it's not going anywhere, and now you're going to run into type 2 diabetes and health issues. By regulating what you eat and changing your diet from fast digesting carbs to slow digesting carbs, and eating it in a portion that is equal to what you burn or less, you can actually reverse insulin sensitivity and type 2 diabetes with good diet, absolutely. At the same time, insulin is very, very anabolic. So it's going to take the little proteins and it's going to help them build into muscle. So after a workout, we want an insulin spike. We want to drive those nutrients into the muscle, and we want an anabolic environment, which is an environment where muscle is going to grow. So after a workout, fuzzy peaches, I don't care, something high in sugar. This is the only time I recommend it, but I do recommend it. Especially if you have a sweet tooth, this gives you that chance. When you know, I'm going to work out today, I'm going to have this after. Right? And then the rest of the day is not that hard because you know I don't have to wait that long. And then I can have whatever I want. As far as vegetables goes, each and every vegetable is a slightly different color, and that actually tells you what vitamins and minerals are in that fruit or vegetable. I'm a nutrition therapist, and when it comes to vitamins and minerals, they all have a different job to do. And if you're not meeting your requirements, it's not going to be getting that job done. So by adding different things at different times, like you'd need to assess your vitamins and minerals first to know. But if your vitamins and minerals are deficient, symptoms are going to be showing up. Symptoms like constipation, easy bruising, dry hair, acne. These are all symptoms of low vitamins and minerals. Vitamin and mineral deficiencies. It's very important that we get enough vitamins and minerals so that they do their job. That's why you should always eat a wide variety of fruits and vegetables of all different colors. When it comes to protein, I want you to think of your body like a building for a second. And when we work out, it's like a little earthquake, and it damages our building just a little bit. Protein is basically our building blocks. So it's going to be the materials that we need to rebuild our building. So it's your job to supply the protein after the workout and every now and then throughout the day. The amino acids, the building blocks, last in your blood for about 3 hours. So that's why we recommend eating every 3 hours. Now, if you don't supply the materials to rebuild your body, it's going to break down some of your body to repair your body, which is totally counterproductive. It's way better to just give it the materials it needs, especially after working out. When it comes to what choices to make, obviously the leaner the meat, the better. If you're a vegan or a vegetarian, you can have plant-based protein. It really doesn't matter because when we think of protein, at the end of the day, it's all amino acids. So as long as you have the right amino acids to grow muscle, then you're good to go. Right? So essentially, think of it like baking a cake. And if I need 3 cups of flour and 2 cups of sugar and 5 eggs, I need all of those different amino acids to bake muscle pie or muscle cake. Okay? When it comes to powdered protein, I prefer a plant-based protein because I find that I get bloated from the ingredients and a lot of the other proteins. So I stay away from it. I go with a plant-based protein. And I probably have about 2 shakes a day. And then the rest of my meals would be meat or eggs, cottage cheese. When it comes to fat, we're going to keep this super simple. If it's liquid at a room temperature, I recommend having some. If it's a solid at a room temperature, try and limit that. So animal fats, try and limit it. Obviously, you're going to have a bit of animal fat, and definitely take that into account when you're making your meals. Don't double up on fat because fat is more than twice as dense a macronutrient as carbs and protein. Carbs and protein only have 4 calories per gram. Fat actually has 9. So when you overeat fat, you're going to notice it. That's for sure. I don't recommend going for low-fat stuff because low-fat things usually have higher carbohydrates. So regulate your own fat. A healthy fat, olive oil, vegetable oil is even okay. Anything that's liquid at room temperature. It is important that we add fat to our diet because fat transports vitamins and minerals, and it also makes up every single cell wall in our body. So the reason we leave streaks on windows is because that's fat, and every cell wall is made of fat. If we don't supply fat in our diet, our body wants to store fat, just like anything. If we don't drink enough water, our body stores water. If we don't eat enough, our body stores fat because it doesn't trust us. So make sure you're getting enough fat. Try not to overdo it. Now that you understand how it works, here's where it gets interesting because you can do whatever you want. So whether you or your client want to get bigger, want to get leaner, want to just get absolutely shredded, or get huge, it's all possible with the power of diet. So where do we start from here? Like I said, I almost always start my clients at 500 calories less. So let's just take a look at this guy right here. Where would you start him if he were your client? What does it look like needs to happen to him? I would start him 500 calories less, even if he says he wants to get bigger. Because as he leans out, look what happens. He does get bigger, and he definitely looks way better. This guy here lost fat and built muscle. How about him? He looks like he could build some muscle. Should we give him extra calories? Now let's get him lean first. Then once he gets there, we can give him extra calories if he wants some. Now, it is not too often I hear a female say, I'd like to get bigger. I would say 95% of the time, I'm going to hear things like, I'd like to tone up, I'd like to lose a bit of weight. And this is going to be one of your biggest obstacles. Convincing people not to lose weight, but instead to build a strong, lean body. Now, unless somebody is specifically asking you to make me bigger, make them leaner. And then once they're lean, ask them what they want to do from there. Take a look at this next picture, because in the first picture, she weighed 145 pounds. Now in the second picture, she weighs 142 pounds. You can totally tell that there is more than just a 3-pound difference in her body. And this is what typically happens with people that stick with it. They notice that the scale doesn't change an awful lot, but their body changes immensely. Your biggest challenge as a nutrition counselor, consultant, personal trainer, coach, whatever, is getting people to realize this. Everybody wants to jump on the scale. And then they look at the scale and very little has happened. And this is how they're judging their progress. But in reality, they're losing fat and gaining muscle at the same time. Now, I recommend that clients take pictures because pictures don't lie. When you line pictures up in a row, you can see a journey that somebody's going down. But the whole time, that scale might not change very much at all. Fantastic. So, we've made our first meal plan. It was 500 calories less than we burn, and we have executed that for 6 weeks. Now our body's going to plateau, and we're going to need to change it. This is the step that most people never take. They try and take a little bit of calories off, and they do that, and then it kind of tapers off, and then they kind of stop doing it because it stops seeing results. Right around anywhere even the 4 to 6 week mark, if we change it from 500 calories deficit down to 1,000 calories, now they're going to be burning fat at a rate of double. They were burning 1 pound of fat a week. Now they're going to be burning 2 pounds of fat a week. You're going to notice a big difference. Take pictures. Take pictures. That is what I would recommend to anybody that is trying to lose weight. Have them start 500, and then take them all the way down to 1,000. Now we're starting to create a journey for them. Okay? And like I said, I went through 3 meal plans to lose a whole bunch of weight, and I went through 3 meal plans and I gained a bunch of muscle. And it was really, really magical, the whole journey. That's step 2 of the journey. If your client doesn't need to lose more weight, obviously don't take them down 1,000 calories. Kick them up to maintenance calories, which is where your body is going to be at its best. This is optimal. As human beings, it's so funny. Everybody wants to do extremes, right? I am going to eat all meat, no carbohydrates forever. And then I'm not going to eat any meat. Now I'm a vegetarian. And funny enough, these are the same people trying to convince me to do both. As humans, nobody ever considers, hey, what's the perfect amount? Right? What's the perfect amount? Anybody that is happy with their body fat percentage, start them with the perfect amount. If they want to gain some lean muscle after that, take them up above the threshold. Taking that same client that before had 2,280 calories, and now taking another 500 calories off is going to leave 1,780 calories. Okay? So before, when our daily breakdown, let's go with our 3-hour breakdown. Our 3-hour breakdown before was 38 grams of carbs, 38 grams of protein, and 9 grams of fat. Whereas now, we're looking at 29 grams of protein, 29 grams of carbs, and 7 grams of fat. This may not seem like much. I mean, it's only a couple bites when you actually look at it on a plate. But it's enough to challenge the body. If you go and your body gets used to eating this much food, and then you go to here, it's going to change. It has no choice. So now go design your phase 2. Take 1,000 calories off of what you burn a day. So now you're getting a map. And at the end of this course, I hope that you execute on that map. Go right now to the resources section and design phase 2 of your nutrition program. Again, I'd really like to point out that a lot of the times a body transformation does not look all that impressive on a scale, but it looks very impressive in the mirror and it looks very impressive with pictures. I urge you guys, please take pictures each and every time you go through a phase. Please. And upload them to the Body Sculptor Nation Facebook page. So this is what it should look like by now. This should be your second phase. Now 6 weeks later, we're going to plateau again. And for anyone wanting to gain weight, bring them to exactly what they burn. We always want to make small, calculated steps. We must recognize when enough is enough. If your client has been in a deficit of 1,000 calories, then their body will definitely see results from this change. We will start adding calories in the next phase for these people. For people still in need of leaning out, bring them back up to just under what they burn. If they burn 2,600 calories a day, give them 2,400 calories a day. If they burn 3,000, give them 2,800. Now this throws people for a loop when they're trying to lose fat and you tell them that you're going to give them an extra 800 calories. People's minds are so stuck on a less is more mentality that when it comes to dieting, we need to shift their mentality entirely. No longer are people trying to lose weight. We're trying to build a lean, strong body. And for that, we need calories. So by going up in calories, we're still going to be losing weight because we're still within the weight loss window of plus minus 1,000 calories. So now we actually make a big jump. And this is where your body is going to make a big change. A lot of people get stuck here because they can't understand that eating more food is going to make them continue seeing results. So you may lose some clients here. That's okay. They'll come back to you. In this plan, the carbs and protein have almost doubled. We're now at 55 grams of carbs, 55 grams of protein, and 20 grams of fat. That's every 3 hours. Anybody who loves eating, you're going to love this. And you're still going to be seeing amazing results, and you're still going to be losing weight. But your body will soak up this nutrition. Okay, guys, go make your own phase 3. Now, I know this is hypothetical, and as you go through this, you may want to change, but just make yourself a map for now, a journey. Go through this, because by the end, all you'll have to do is listen to this booklet, and your body is going to magically transform. Go do it now. In the beginning, I always want to keep it simple for people, and that's why I go with the 6 even meals, or 5. If they can't do it in 5, just divide it all by 5 instead of 6. But I like to keep them all the same. But now we're starting to get a little bit more advanced, and I can teach you a way to keep the body a little tricked a bit, and also just make it a little bit more progressive, while still eating the same amount of calories. Basically, we're going to have a double shot of carbs in the morning, and we're going to have a double shot of carbs after a workout. And then out of 2 meals, we're going to take half the carbs away. If that sounds confusing, I've created a template that you can just follow the formula, follow the template, but give this a shot, because now you get a little bit bigger breakfast, you get more food after a workout, and by taking half out throughout the day, we're actually increasing fat loss again. Follow the template and just kind of tweak your phase 3 a little bit. Again, I don't throw this to people right away because it's too confusing. They're like, oh my God, I need 64 in the morning, 15 over here, 85 then. Right? It's too much for them. But we're getting more advanced now, and it's time to learn this. We're also going to pull our fat out of the post-workout meal. So the meal after the workout, we're going to take our fat out of, because again, we want that insulin spike. Now it's come time again that we've plateaued. So we started our journey 500 calories less. Then we went down 1,000, and then we went back up 800. So we're just under the line. So now for your 4th program, your 5th program, your 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, get creative. What's your goal? Do you still want to lose fat? Play within this window. You could go from 200, you could take off 300, down another 100, and then back up again, and just keep playing in that weight loss window. And then the second that you're happy with your fat level, give yourself maintenance calories. And then if you want to throw on some lean muscle, start to play in the 1,000 calories just above. So it's really a choose your own adventure, but the systematic approach to this makes the results, they start slow, but they ramp up like crazy. And after time, this journey just completely transforms your body. Like I said, I lost 60 pounds, and I didn't even think I had 60 pounds to lose. When coach looked at me and he's like, you have 60 pounds to lose. I was like, are you kidding me? I'm like, there's not going to be anything left to me. But he was absolutely right. And it was absolutely mind-blowing. So take the journey. Create your own journey. Take other people through this journey. Right? I love this so much because I hate being fat. And I was a fat kid, and it was fat through high school, and just, I hated it. So as soon as I discovered how not to be fat while still living a normal life, guys, I still eat pizza. I would love to tell you that I eat absolutely nothing but organic sweet potatoes and tuna all day, but I'd be lying to you. Like, I have pretty much whatever I want. I do have it in perfect portion. Absolutely hands down. And I am happy with my body. I'm 210 pounds, relatively lean. I'm not shredded at the moment, but I'm cool. I'm happy. And that is what this journey will do for you. And it can do for others, and people will love you, and everybody will be like a little radio tower telling other people that you've helped them so much. I will never not sell this program. Now, I've included a little guide for you in your templates, and just follow this along. When it comes time to gain weight, this is where it can get absolutely ridiculous, but it works. Let's take a look at The Rock's diet quickly. I don't know if you've ever heard of The Rock's diet, but it is an awful lot of food. But when you actually break it down, it's within the window. So it's not crazy. The only time it's crazy is when somebody other than him tries to do it, because that's no longer the window for them, right? They need their own window. When it comes to gaining weight, play within the plus minus of 1,000 calories, and it depends on your client's body where you want to place that. We have 3 body styles. We have ectomorphs, mesomorphs, and endomorphs. Basically, your very thin, lean people, the people that are always going to be lean. You have your middle people, which are a very versatile body style. You can do a lot with it, but if you neglect it, you get round. And then you have your endomorphs, which endomorphs are usually the people with the bigger hips. Now, this is how we tell an endomorph. Not necessarily size, but hip size. Now, they're different metabolism speeds. Your ectomorph has a fast metabolism. He may need an extra 1,000 calories every single day just to see any gains, where your mesomorph might only need a couple extra 100 calories a day. And your endomorph is probably going to want to play within your weight loss window until they're happy and then hit the maintenance calories. And if you get an endomorph nice and lean and get them to maintenance calories, they're going to look great and they're going to be happy there. The endomorphs that want to add on and body build, you guys are going to be professionals if you stick with it. Essentially, it just depends on everybody's body. How much does their body want to store fat? And then when it comes to a bulking diet for them, use that as your gauge. But even those people can absolutely go up to 1,000 calories extra per day. And then if they notice they're getting fat, taper them off the next phase, right? And it's just an up and down thing. And there's a 2,000 calorie window that you're going to see positive results. Okay? Anything too little, you're going to see negative results. Never go less than 1,000 calories less than you burn. These tolerances are so big. If you're working out and you're eating anywhere close to plus minus 1,000 and 1,000, so 2,000 calorie window, you're going to see positive results. Anything lower than that, you're going to see fat gain. And anything above that, you'll get bigger all right, but you're going to see some fat gain as well. When it comes to cardio, a lot of people think of cardio as a weight loss tool. I like to think of nutrition as a weight loss tool. Cardio stands for cardiovascular. It is to strengthen the heart. Okay, so when we're doing cardio, we're actually trying to strengthen the heart. We're not trying to lose weight. At the same time, it does burn calories. So I would time the cardio with the diet and with the training regime. Take a look at this chart I've created. In phase 1 of the meal plan, I would have them do absolutely no cardio whatsoever because I want to see what happens to their body when I give them 500 less calories. And then in phase 2 of the program, I would also have them do no cardio. I would want to take them through that and get their body transforming without it. In phase 3, when I go back up, still, don't start cardio yet. Absolutely, we want to add some resistance training, but save the cardio. Normally when I tell people, sorry, we can't do any cardio for the first little bit, they're not complaining. Now, when I get to the 4th phase of this, when I start to, okay, now it's time to play with it again. I can go back up, I can go down. Now is when I'm going to start to add in the cardio, but I'm going to do it very slowly. So I would go twice a week for 20 minutes. If every single day I ate 400 less calories than I ate. And then twice a week, I did 20 minutes of cardio, further making my calorie deficit a little bit more. I'm going to lose a certain amount of weight. Now, if in the next phase, I take off an extra 200 calories and I do an extra 20 minutes of cardio, your body has no choice but to burn stored fat. If in the next phase, I take off another 250 calories, and now I add another, say 20 minutes of cardio, 30 minutes of cardio, again, my body has no choice but to tap into those fat stores. So it's science, it's a matter of time. Put it all together in a way that makes sense. I would never want to add 500 calories and add 3 cardio sessions. That would just not make any sense whatsoever, right? And then I would play with it as I needed. But I am not using cardio as my tool for fat loss. Okay, we're using cardio to keep this heart strong. We're using the diet plan, the meal plan, the progressive system for the actual fat loss and body transformation. As far as resistance training goes, we need this. We are eating like athletes, and we need to train like athletes. So if you've enjoyed this at all, please take the Advanced Bodybuilding and Body Sculpting Design course, which is the second half of this course. Pair these two together, and you can get your body and your clients' bodies to do whatever you want. It's an 8-phase system, and it is progressive, and it is paired with this, and the timing is also paired together. So as we're entering phase 1 of the workout plan, we're entering phase 1 of the nutrition plan. As we're entering phase 2, we're entering phase 2. They go hand in hand. I'm going to give you a brief overview of how that looks. In phase 1, we're going to do a whole body workout, 1 exercise for each muscle. Now, if I lift 10 pounds 10 times, and I do 3 sets of that, the volume would be 10 times 10, which is 100, times 3 sets, which is 300. The volume would be 300 pounds. Okay, so if I did 1 exercise for my shoulders, 300 pounds of volume, and I did 1 exercise for my chest, 300 pounds of volume, and so on for my whole body workout, 1 exercise for each muscle. That would be phase 1. Now when we move to phase 2, we break the body in half. And now we're going to do 2 exercises for each muscle and have a day 1 and a day 2. And then in phase 3, we're going to break the body over 3 days, and we're going to have 3 exercises for each muscle. So the system gets just a little bit more progressive, just like the nutrition. By now, you should have a complete understanding of how and why the body would change when we add or take away calories or macronutrients. There's just one problem with that. There's a missing piece. Nobody knows what that means. If I tell you to eat 1,800 calories a day, I might as well be speaking a different language. Nobody knows what that means. And neither did I. The one thing my coach taught me was how to bridge that gap. He gave me a series of pre-portioned meal plans, so I didn't have to think, I just had to follow the menu. We created the ultimate tool. After years of creating menu plans for people, I have a range of perfectly portioned menus, each with a predetermined amount of calories and a pre-measured food to go with it, so you don't have to think. And you don't just get the one menu. We actually have 54 carb choices, 24 protein choices, and 18 fat choices, and they're all perfectly portioned. So you can mix and match any one of these. Pick one carb, match it with a protein, match it with a fat, and there's your perfectly portioned meal. And it's so easily laid out that you know exactly what you need to hit per meal. So if in your first menu, you need 22 grams of carbs, 22 grams of protein, and 8 grams of fat, and you don't feel like eating that carb choice, you can substitute it for anything you want as long as it's in the right portion. So you just have to Google it one time and then you know. If you wanted, save 2 of these cookies and your numbers were 22 carbs, 22 protein, and 9 fat for that meal, check this out. In 2 cookies, there are 19 grams of carbs, 7 fat, and 1 protein. That's almost perfect. Believe it or not, all you would have to do is add protein, and this is a perfectly portioned meal. Literally anything fits here. It might sound crazy, but it works. What makes this a system is you don't just get one menu. You don't just get 2 menus. You get the whole system. And this is a timeless system. It will work for you today, and it will work for you 5 years from now. So what you get is a weight loss journey. It's a map, and all you have to do is follow it. And then eventually you'll have a body fat percentage that you're happy with, and then you just find the menu where the calories you eat is equal to the calories you burn per day, and you're going to love life. You're going to think somebody pressed the easy button. And if you want to put on some muscle, I'm not talking about a dirty bulk, but putting on some nice lean muscle, it's the exact same thing. You use the exact same menus. So what you're actually getting is a bridge to success. Now there are lots of ways to cross this bridge, of course. I already mentioned that. Working hard, you can cross the bridge. Or you can work smart. You can follow your delicious menu for 1 day and burn 500 calories. Do that for 7 days, and the exact same pound of fat is out the door. Let the menu work hard for you. If you follow this program and it doesn't work, I will give you your money back. That's how confident I am. This program has worked for every single person who has put effort into it. This picture was taken after 6 weeks. Both of these were taken after 6 weeks as well. I've known her for about a year. I guided her for about 4 or 5 months, and she's been coaching herself ever since. I said before, our goal here is education. She doesn't need me. Everything you need to know is bundled in this package. Let's take a look at a few more pictures of her. Her body changed so fast. It's a good thing she took pictures. She did amazing. She put in the work because she knows how important it is. And you know what? She's absolutely killing it. She's looking good from all angles. And that's no joke. Getting out of shape happens. I don't know why it happens. I mean, I could probably think of one reason. Okay, maybe 2. Or 3 or 4. Okay, I could think of lots of reasons why we get out of shape. And it's not really important how we get out of shape. What is important is getting out of shape definitely does happen. Trust me, I know just as well as anyone. Nobody wants to get out of shape. However, staying out of shape is a decision. Getting into shape is also a decision. It's a decision I made. It's a decision she made. It's a decision they made. And now it's time for you to decide. You have 2 choices in life. Learn history or repeat it. You can continue wishing you had a body you love and hating the one you have. You can continue to search for ways on the internet of how to lose weight and waste your money on magic pills. Or you could take the same journey we took, which has a tested and proven process, expert mentorship, an amazing supportive Facebook community, and the best part is, this is not expensive. Here's what I want you to do next. Click the button below, get started today, and I'm not just going to give you 1 perfectly portioned menu. I'm not just going to give you 2 perfectly portioned menus. You get the entire menu collection. Menus starting at 1,000 calories all the way up to 4,000, just in case you feel like bodybuilding once you get lean. That is 17 different perfectly portioned menus with 3 pages of substitutes for each. And fully outlined in our online training videos, you're going to learn everything you need to know. There's also bonus lessons. We don't ever give nutrition without a good solid workout plan as well. Again, you get the whole system. And a training course to teach you how and why to use it. You're getting 2 full online courses showing you everything you need to know. The training program, the nutrition program. There are workbooks to guide your journey. It's called the Our Perfect Portions Complete System for a reason. It really is a complete system. And here's the best part. This is an education system teaching you how to build a lean, strong body and properly eat. It's going to work for the whole family. Your brother, your sister, your mother, your father. Obviously, I'm not recommending you put your kids on a diet, but when you realize the impact this lifestyle has on the human body, you're going to see food in a different way. Here's what I want you to do next. Click the button below and get started today. On my website, the price for this program is $5.99, but I have found that those who make decisions quickly always turn out to be the best clients, and we do amazing work together. For that reason, I have something called incentive-based pricing, where if you make a decision on the webinar today, it's only 3 easy payments of $120, and you get to keep the system for life. Best time in life for you to learn this one simple thing is right now. If for whatever reason, a couple years down the road, you put on a couple pounds, you just pull it out and you go through the exact same journey. We're human. We get out of shape. The solution is right in front of you guys. So click the button below and get started today. Guys, this information is timeless. So from the journey that I took years ago, it's in my drawer, and Christmas comes along, I'll throw on 10 to 15 pounds, right? Like summer comes, buddy gets a pool, that's good for a couple of pounds. But I always come back to the same system, and all I ever have to do is go, okay, well, here's phase 1 of my nutrition plan, here's phase 2 in 6 weeks, here's phase 3, and I just go through it, and I get back lean again. I'm human, worse than that, I'm North American, I'm going to get fat again, I know it. That's not important. The important part is I know exactly how to get lean again, and I've now transferred that information to you. Hopefully, you transfer this information to other people. So click the button below and get started today. Now guys, you can take this system and you can rebrand it as your own. I am never going to come after anybody for plagiarism. I want you to put this information forward. I want you to pass it on. Create your own workbook, write a book, travel the world. That's what I'm going to do. And have fun doing it. So click the button below and get started today.